Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are in the Western Desert, south of the oasis of Neket, building a Yamatai Palace. This build was suggested by Rufus Domitian on my Khitan Castle build guide, so thank you for the suggestion, Rufus. As with my previous builds, this build was previously streamed live on Twitch, so feel free to drop me a follow over there through the link in the description to get a sneak peek of what's coming next when I am next live. Before we get started though, we do of course have to thank the sponsors, NordVPN. If somehow you haven't heard of them before, NordVPN offers one of the best rated VPN services available, featuring super fast servers in 60 countries, no data logging, 24/7 customer support, double data encryption, the ability to unlock region lock content including Netflix, ITV, BBC iPlayer and such, and more to ensure you always stay safe on the internet. With unlimited bandwidth, a lightweight Chrome browser extension, and the ability to use Nord on up to 6 devices simultaneously, including mobile devices, NordVPN is the best way to protect yourself on the internet. It's simple to use, one click and you are both connected and protected. NordVPN is great and it's one of the best ways to support me. Each video I make takes roughly between 8 and 12 hours to make, so when you purchase NordVPN through my link you really do help me out a ton. You can get 70% off NordVPN when you visit nordvpn.org/iradYT, or use code iradYT at checkout, which comes out to $3.49 a month, or about £2.80 if you're in the UK, which is a great price for the service. As always, a massive thanks to Nord for sponsoring the video. This build took about 2.5 hours just in construction alone, so this one is indeed a speed build. So, without further ado, let's get started. As with all of my speed builds, I'll be explaining my ideas and designs for this build, along with any inspiration or concepts I developed whilst building. Firstly, of course, the suggestion asked for a Yamatai Palace, which itself is a fairly simple build brief in terms of aims and construction choices. However, it's easy to fall into a rut when using Yamatai, as pretty much everyone, I think, immediately thinks of the Matsumoto style builds, and I am especially guilty of this. However, I wanted to do something a little more grand and kind of break away from that usual pitfall, which you'll see develop over the course of this video. In terms of construction, I wanted something large yet well balanced to cover the majority of this central island in the middle of the lake we're building in, along with access to the build from a drawbridge, to help to use the surrounding water as an actual interactive part of the build, rather than just fairly unused environmental decoration. The build is multi-levelled, but as you can see by the blueprint on screen now, I've planned out the ground floor to be sort of the main hub of the build, with stairs and lifts to access the partial first and second floors, along with the workshop in the basement. I'll also be including a surrounding balcony around most of the basement level 4 decoration. However, for the levels above I won't be including any awning balconies, to, again, avoid that Matsumoto style rut I mentioned earlier. In the basement workshop, I focused on a variety of workstations rather than specialising, offering plenty of function for the palace. I also decided to place a large vault in the basement below the dining room. I pretty much hardly ever use vaults due to the sheer amount of space they take up. They do work in some builds, but it's just one of those pieces I rarely find myself using. However, in such a grand palace, and in a relatively secure location due to the natural moat surrounding the build, it seems that this build would indeed suit the placement of a vault inside quite well. To differentiate the first floor, I decided to cut out parts of the walls that made up the rooms to create sort of open-air windows, or a sort of penned-in balcony, which helps keep the build from feeling too uniform. Whilst you won't be able to see it now, you'll see it a little bit later on in the video. After I'd built the walls up, I was kind of debating what to do with them because they were very flat and box-like, and if you know me, you know I hate things that look like boxes, so I decided to kind of cut these balconies into them, which I think worked quite nicely. When it came to the top floor, I was debating exactly what to do with it. I decided upon a grand roof, using a simple flat apex design topped with rooftop pieces and Yamatai wall caps. However, I needed some extra room on this floor to accommodate the master bedroom, which I decided to build over the front porch using 1x1 doorway pillars to support the extension. I think this works alright. It could be improved, I think, and maybe a grand roof isn't the only option that could work well with a build like this, but it's what I went for, and it's always something I can try differently next time. Lore-wise, I think this build could work quite nicely on a PvE or roleplay server as the base for a clan. There's plenty of room for workers and fighter thralls, and it's in close proximity to Sepameru for thrall farming. There are plenty of tigers and other beasts in the surrounding area for food, and you're not too far from the tundra or the unnamed city. I think there are some improvements that could be made to this palace, including extensions to encompass the entire island if you so desired. One thing about traditional Japanese palaces and castles that always irks me in-game, and this is true for other architecture styles, and I've mentioned it before, is gently tapered roofs, or walls. These are of course impossible in-game, so you're unfortunately never going to capture the perfect essence of a traditional Japanese temple. However, I think this palace works nicely and came out quite well. As with all my speed builds, I'll be coming back in after the construction phase to walk through the finished build. Again, don't forget to follow me on Twitch to get a sneak peek of upcoming builds, and of course you can also get 70% off NordVPN when you go to nordvpn.org/eradYT, or use code eradYT at checkout. So, enjoy the rest of the build, and I'll see you in the furnishing phase. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to, of course, furnish. Approaching the build, I've lit the entrance walkway with standing Khitan braziers atop Yamatai Pillars, and I've lit the inside of the build with Turanian wall braziers, which fit the gold accents of Yamatai quite well. Entering the build, we reach the ground floor, the main hub of the build. However, firstly we are going to take the lift downstairs to the basement, where we end up in the Metallurgy Workshop. This is where metals are worked together to form everything from swords and spears to rivets and brackets for repairs around the palace. This workshop, along with the other rooms on this floor, apart from the vault room, are connected to the outside balcony. This balcony actually works nicely to both encompass the environment sort of into the build, but also make it seem like the build has a bit more of a footing in the ground as opposed to if it's just coming straight up. Next, the Hide Workshop. This is where the various pelts of hunted animals are tanned and used within the palace for various crafted items. Next, the Carpenters Workshop. This is used to provide wooden items around the palace and to the various other workshops when needed, and thus this workshop isn't used as much. Finally, in the basement, the vault room, where the riches of the palace are kept secure. Heading back up the elevator, we reach the ground floor again. Firstly, we'll head into the Western Room, which is a small lounge for the monarchs of the palace, a place to relax away from servants or other visitors. Heading across the hall we reach the kitchen, which serves the nearby dining room. This kitchen is fairly small, though it's well stocked enough to provide food for the residents, the guests and the servants. Next for the dining room, which provides plenty of seating room along with impressive views of the verticality of the palace, all the way up to the grand roof. Heading up these short stairs on the east, we reach one of the first floor balconies. This is a nice simple balcony area that provides some nice views across the desert and the lake on which the palace is built. Heading up the opposite stairs on the west we reach the office space, which again is set up as another balcony, this time looking west across the savannah and over to the volcano. This minimalistic office is a great place to sit, write and be inspired by the surrounding environment. Next, heading up the stairs at the back of the dining room that I totally didn't forget to add until just now, we reach the catwalks on the second floor. On this floor there are two storage rooms on the east and west side, designed to hold less valuable goods that aren't worth being held in personal storage, but aren't important enough for the vault. Finally, on this floor, the master bedroom. This is another minimalist room that provides a comfortable plate of prestige for the monarchs of the palace to sleep, along with an impressive view across the drawbridge. And there we have it, a Yamatai Palace in the Western Desert, south of the oasis of Neket. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Rufus again for the suggestion. This is one of the largest builds I've done in a while, I think probably since Dragon's Reach, but I'm happy with how it came out and I had fun building it. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know in the comments below if you have any build suggestions for future videos. As usual, absolutely anything is welcome. Don't forget to both follow me on Twitch and join the fun on our Discord through the links in the description, And don't forget you can get 70% off NordVPN when you use code ERADYT at checkout, or you can go through my affiliate link in the description and the pinned comment below. YouTube is currently my full-time source of income, so if you enjoy the content and would like to help support the channel so I can continue to put out the best content possible, do consider becoming a patron. There are multiple tiers of support from $1 to $20, offering many different benefits from a mention in every video to Discord roles, and even sneak peeks of every new video before anyone else. During the lockdown, most of us are still in. The video previews that are usually restricted to the $20 tier will be open for the $10 tier as well, so everyone's got a little bit more content to enjoy. The link to my Patreon is in the description, so if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to consider becoming a patron. On that note, a thanks to our patrons Sammy, Sir Dialot, Randar, Dawnfox, and MK Pantheon. If you're new here, feel free to check out the rest of the content on the channel. There are new Conan Exiles videos coming every Wednesday and Sunday, so if you like what you see, subscribe and ring the notification bell to be the first to see the next video, and to join us on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.